The accuser could go nameless, but also wanted the judge to throw out the case. Now, this is what I told you about this era of what I believe it's kind of like the modern extortion, a civil suit, because a lot of these lack merit of any accompanying criminal investigation or criminal charges. The accusation becomes the narrative. He got a weird case. Why is he around? Right? What that does is it's having a lot of people, a lot of company back up from that person. Now, the nature of what's happening, and this is how civil cases work. I gave you the timeline last night. This might take a couple of years to resolve. Now, Jay-Z don't got a couple of years to just be in limbo, be thought of as a PDF file. He probably is in the middle of business negotiations now. Maybe some of his current contracts are at jeopardy. He just read up on an association with the NFL. So, this is how a civil suit usually goes, right? Now, this was filed in October. They sued Diddy, a bunch of his companies, and then a bunch of unnamed people. This month, they added Jay-Z. Now, this is how slow civil suits actually go, right? On average, it's about going to be 2 years before it really gets into the thick of things, or it could possibly get to a court date. And that's even quick, because if you go to a local jurisdiction, like, for example, some counties or whatever, there's up to like 4 or 5 years. Okay, it's slow. Now, after you serve the lawsuit, which, by the way, I think they're going to say, fuck it, we got it. We got the lawsuit. Alex Spiro already, which is his lawyer, says, I'm representing Jay-Z. All of the things in the complaint are there. Now, the process of a civil lawsuit is really, as I said, slow and laborious. Okay. There's going to be, the person suing has to demand for what they need in discovery. The judge reviews it, or sometimes you could just give it to them if you have it, or give an answer to it. But it's a bunch of back and forth. Then Jay-Z and whoever's being accused, Diddy and his company, can say, we want all of this chick's text messages from the relevant days. And again, these are things that they give they'll give oh, you guys have 30 days to do this, or 60 days, or 3 months. So what usually happens, it drags and drags and drags. Now, once there's the brunt of evidence presented, people usually go for what they call a motion to dismiss, especially if you're being sued. But the lawsuit at this point probably is almost at least a few months old, 6 months, could be a year. Jay-Z can't wait a fucking year. Because if y'all think that he's a PDF file, for a year, it's going to fuck up a lot of businesses for him. So this filing was actually, I'm not going to lie, and I want to give some credit to Alex Spiro. My boy is trying to move like Brian Steele. And what I mean by move like Brian Steele, he's going hard in the paint for Jay, okay? Now, clearly, he not only represents Jay-Z, he represents a lot of other business interests with Jay-Z. So he probably knows how important this is. Now, the judge, there is a judge that got assigned this case, but the judge hasn't made much. It's a civil case. This ain't like people in jail, like civil. Jay-Z's lawyer writes a letter begging the judge, saying, hey, let's have a hearing. Quick. Yo, we gotta decide these things. This is urgent. Urgent. He's damn near begging the judge to hurry up, that they could possibly get this dismissed, because it's killing Jay-Z's reputation. And what this actually could show, or what it says to me, again, I'm not saying none of this means he's guilty, but it tells me Jay's a little bit frantic. And I don't think that's because of guilt or not. I think that's he's losing some money. So listen, let's read this letter. It says, Dear Honorable Judge Torres, on December 8th, a plaintiff filed an amended complaint naming my client, Sean Carter, as a defendant in the lawsuit. On December 9th, we filed a motion to seeking to have the court decline to permit the plaintiff in the case to proceed anonymously. As noted in that motion, the plaintiff's attorney, Anthony Busby, has engaged in a campaign to leverage unfounded and heinous allegations against celebrities to secure large settlements. He seeks neither justice nor peace for his victims. He only seeks to benefit himself. On the afternoon of December 9th, after we had submitted the motion and accompanied exhibits, our offices received outreach. Actually, I shouldn't read that one first. Let me read. Wait, did I? All right, now, wait. Oh, this is not the same one. Hold on. Okay, I'll read this anyway. My bad. There's one of them missing. Give me 1 second. Because he wrote two. So essentially, there's a lot of drama going on here. I ain't gonna lie. This shit is gonna be wildly entertaining. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, this is it right here. All right. So, yeah, let me go back and read. So we write on behalf of our client, Sean Carter, concerning the inflammatory allegations made against him. Based on the meritless and frivolous accusation, Mr. Carter has filed a motion to deny the plaintiff's request to proceed anonymously, or a motion to dismiss. Okay? They filed that this morning. Due to the highly sensitive nature of this matter and intense media scrutiny has generated, we respectfully request to be heard on an expedited basis. For the avoidance of doubt, Mr. Carter is entirely innocent. This is a shakedown. He is not mentioned, referenced, or implicated any way in the criminal investigation of Mr. Combs. He is neither a target nor a person of interest in that investigation. Adding to the urgency of this matter, Attorney Busby has orchestrated a months-long press campaign aimed at inflaming public opinion and escalating the events in real time on social media platforms. Every day and in real time, Busby continues to amplify false narratives, exploiting the legal process to generate media attention and damage Mr. Carter's reputation. The relentless campaign underscores the need for fast-tracking a hearing to address these issues promptly to prevent further harm. The plaintiff requests to proceed anonymously. Is both procedurally improper and unsupported by law, and it requires all parties to be named in the pleadings, reflecting the bedrock principle of transparency in judicial proceedings. Plaintiff has failed to demonstrate any compelling circumstances that would justify an extraordinary departure from this rule. Now, here's why this is also interesting, right? So, and I'll shout out to Megan Cunningham for this one. So, apparently the judge already granted, right? The judge had granted earlier. Hold on. The judge already had granted that the plaintiff could go ahead as anonymous, but only when Diddy was being sued. When the judge granted that, all right, yeah, let me just read. Here it is. Hold on, I'm going to get to it. Is it here? Hold on 1 second. All right, I don't know if I have the paperwork, but it doesn't matter about the paperwork. So basically, the judge already ruled that the woman could go on anonymous. Diddy's lawyer, because they're all tied up in the criminal shit, they have 26 lawsuits. They're not responding in a timely fashion to everything in the civil suits yet. They're not putting that much effort into it. So they didn't oppose the motion that the Anthony Busby made for that same client. So now when they add Jay-Z, Jay-Z's like, whoa, I just got added to the case. I don't want her to be anonymous. But what's going to happen is Anthony Busby is going to say, well, they already ruled saying she could be anonymous. What's probably going to happen there is like, either the judge is going to change their ruling, and even then, I think Anthony Busby is probably going to appeal that ruling before it happens. Regardless of all of that, just to simplify it, this is going to be a knock 'em out, drag out process that's going to take a while. And Jay-Z's lawyer, Alex Spiro, is begging to rush this, that, it would be a good look, or not a good look, but it would be open and shut if, let's say, by this week they could get a dismissal, or at least a dismissal on Sean Carter, because now he could say, yo, I told you, this nigga's lying. I never did nothing with Shorty. But I'm going to be honest with you, because the legal process is so slow, right? And because there was, at least from we know, there is no criminal proceedings that preceded this, the judge has to allow them to do a little bit of fact finding, which means, if the judge just throws out the case, maybe she was telling the truth. So you got to let the facts come out first before you at least both sides present some facts before you say, nah, this is bullshit. Because there is no like criminal investigation that happened before that the detectives are saying, here's our file of our investigation. So what does that mean? It looks desperate on Jay-Z's part, saying, please, let's hurry up. Yo, you ever been late at the airport, you in TSA? You're like, yo, it's like you're jumping out your body. You're like, yo, I can't wait on this fucking line. You know it's going to take at least like 30 minutes to get through. Your plane leaving 40 minutes. You get what I'm saying? So, that's kind of what's happening. And I don't know if that's going to work, but, shit, Alex Spiro is a monster. We'll see if it will. But essentially, they're trying to beg the judge to have a hearing about this, because what happens is, you don't do in-person hearings with civil cases. You don't do those things until you get to damn near court. But because of that, everything is slow, because you submit something, then they give a time and a date that the other people got to respond, and then the judge take their sweet old time to respond. So for one issue, it takes a month, right? Or not everything, but if it's a big thing, it might take a couple weeks, right? If you have a hearing, you go in court, both parties go in court, and within an hour or two, the judge makes the ruling. You tell your side, he tells his side, the judge makes a ruling on that motion. So they're trying to get like a hearing, an in-person hearing, to expedite this process, because they want to identify the woman, number one, and number two, put forth a good reason why it should be dismissed, even though I'm going to be honest with you, they haven't pointed out why it should be dismissed, which, if the internet is right, some people say the internet have solved this, that this case is bullshit. He could just write this in the case. Like, yo, Jay was never at a party with a woman. He didn't have sex that night. You can say all type of shit, right? Anyway, let me just keep reading real quick. All right, okay, good. Furthermore, plaintiff's allegations coupled with the conduct of counsel, right, suggest a deliberate attempt to leverage the judicial process to generate an unwarranted media attention and pressure Mr. Carter into a settlement. The misuse of the legal system undermines both his integrity and Mr. Carter's ability to defend himself effectively. It's critical that the plaintiff's identity be disclosed so Mr. Carter can investigate and respond to the claims fully and fairly. Okay? We further note that the timing of this filing coincides with ongoing media coverage of unrelated matters involving Mr. Combs' criminal trial, in which Mr. Busby does not represent victims, underscoring the prejudicial retaliatory nature of the plaintiff's claim. Okay? So basically they're saying that Busby is representing people accusing Diddy, but none of those people are actually in the criminal trial. So they're kind of almost defending Diddy a little bit, saying, yeah, Diddy's actually being charged with some things, and they're using that as like a boost for their case and their story, but none of his multiple clients are the ones that are in the criminal case, right? It says the amended complaint appears to design not to seek justice, but rather to amplify unsubstantiated allegations and harm Mr. Carter's reputation by Mr. Busby, okay? Allowing plaintiff to proceed anonymously, okay, we get all that. Given the circumstances, we urge the court to deny the plaintiff's request to proceed anonymously and dismiss the complaint. Pursuant to rule, the matter is of utmost importance, and we request an expedited hearing to address these significant procedural and substantive issues. Okay, expediting briefing schedule due to high risk. This is what Jay's lawyer is saying. They want to expedite it like an emergency hearing due to high risk of irreparable injury and time-sensitive nature. Were available at the court's earliest convenience to provide additional briefing or to appear for a hearing on this matter. Yeah, they want to get that shit out of here immediately. Wow. Federal court. Let's see what this is. Wait. Okay. 12. Rule 12B. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, so Spiro quotes a rule that could allow the lawsuit to be dismissed. I don't think it's going to be dismissed, though, but good try. Good try. Okay. All right, then the next piece of drama is this. Today, so the one I just read saying, Judge, please, like, yo, this is going to cause irreparable damage to Jay-Z and what he got going on. Like, we can't wait another day. We can't wait months, like how these other lawsuits been dragging on. You got to realize, in all of Diddy's cases, and there's been cases filed, Cassie filed in November 2023. Afterwards, in the new year, he got like 20 of them. Not one of those cases have gotten to the stage where discovery is going through, right? Because they're asking for extensions. Why they're asking for extensions? They're really busy with this criminal case, right? They're busy with the criminal case, and also, you don't want to do too much with the civil case that maybe the feds are looking over to say, oh, wait, oh, shit, look at this. So they're kind of like pushing those back. So that's what Diddy's going to do. Diddy's strategy is push these shit back. Jay-Z's like, fuck pushing it back. I need this shit dismissed today. You get what I'm saying? All right, cool. So, this is, the important part. Okay. Listen to this drama. So they write a letter yesterday begging to expedite it. Then today, here's this. Dear Honorable Judge Torres, on December 8th, the plaintiff filed an amended complaint. On December 9th, we responded seeking a motion to decline to permit the plaintiff to proceed anonymously. As noted in the motion, the lawyers engaged in a campaign to leverage unfounded, heinous allegations against celebrities to secure large settlements. He seeks neither justice nor peace for his victims. He seeks to only benefit himself. On the afternoon of December 9th, after we had submitted motions and accompanying exhibits, our offices, here's a drama chat, our offices received outreach via a phone call and email from an individual who provided her name to us, though she wishes to remain anonymous. Jay was just saying, yo, the victim, alleged victim, can't remain anonymous, but Jay is now saying, yo, we got a call in our offices from an anonymous person. Whatever, cool. Here's the drama. Marie Henderson, who works for Quinn Emanuel, so that's, works for Alex Spiro's law firm. Marie Henderson spoke to this woman, who informed Ms. Henderson she had previously reached out to the Busby law firm with respect to allegations of trafficking and abuse unrelated to Mr. Combs or Mr. Carter. So this had nothing to do with Diddy. The Busby firm and representatives who spoke asked the woman when she met Diddy, even though her account did not relate to Mr. Combs at all. Members of the Busby firm encouraged this woman to pursue her claims anonymously, even though she did not have any interest in doing so. When the woman raised wanting to talk to law enforcement, she was informed that it was not encouraged. After several outreaches. The woman again spoke with members of the Busby firm who she felt were pressuring her to make allegations of being drugged, held down, and physically assaulted. Allegations that were not true. When the woman declined to adopt the version of the events proposed by members of the Busby firm, she was summarily dropped as a client. Though the woman provided her identity to Miss Henderson, she remains to be unnamed at this time for fear of retaliation by the Busby firm. The information provided by this woman is in the declaration of Miss Marie Henderson, attached here to as Exhibit A. This information, which came to Quinn Emanuel unsolicited, is further evidence in support of Mr. Carter's right to thoroughly investigate, test, and respond to the spurious allegations that have been levied against him. We respectfully request that the court consider these additional information, which was received by Quinn Emanuel only after the filing of yesterday's motion was complete, in connection with the motion to deny the plaintiff's request to proceed anonymously. Okay. Now, this is this declaration, this sworn statement by somebody who works in the law office of Alex Spiro. It says, my name is Marie Anderson. I swear under penalty of perjury that I'm an associate with the law firm Quinn Emanuel, okay, who are attorneys for defendant Sean Carter. And I submit this declaration in support of Mr. Carter's motion to deny the plaintiff's motion to proceed anonymously. On December 9th, I spoke by telephone with a female, an adult who's a resident of the state of Texas, whose name is known to me. Another adult whose full name is known to me was also a witness to this conversation. The information contained in this declaration is an accurate summary of the information provided to me by this woman on December 9th. Namely that in early October 2024, the woman saw coverage of Attorney Busby's press conference regarding allegations of trafficking and abuse by Sean Combs and submitted a brief outline of trafficking and exploitation events via a Busby law firm website online submission form. The woman spoke with 3 members of the Busby firm and provided details regarding her experiences as a victim of trafficking by celebrities entirely unrelated to Diddy or Jay-Z. And she was told that they would take her on as representation, okay? Or take on her representation. After detailing her experiences to an attorney at Mr. Busby's firm, he pressed for a connection to Mr. Combs, asking, at what point did you meet Diddy? Even though she made clear that her case had nothing to do with Diddy. Mr. Busby firm pressed this woman to pursue a civil case as an anonymous Doe plaintiff, even though she never raised proceeding anonymously as a possibility, and questioned doing so after it was heavily suggested to remain doing so. Even though she was not interested in remaining anonymous at the time, when the woman brought up wanting to go to law enforcement with her allegation, members of the Busby firm informed her that going to law enforcement was not encouraged. After not hearing from Mr. Busby firm for weeks, during which this woman tried to contact the firm multiple times, she spoke again with a member of the firm who pressed her to confirm false details regarding her experience as a victim, including that she was drugged, held down, pushed, and physically assaulted. Now, let me stop this here, chat. Let me stop this here. This random call, remember, they said this is ultimate game of chess. This is Illuminati chess, chat. If you're reading this, remember, so the person who's saying this, I don't know, some clerk or somebody that works for Jay-Z's lawyer's law firm. On the same day, they go to file or respond, but file a motion to say, I don't want this person, this alleged victim who's now 37, was 13 at the time when this happened, I don't want them to be able to proceed as an anonymous client or anonymous victim or anonymous plaintiff. Somebody randomly calls Jay-Z's law firm's office and details damn near a story that sounds It's exactly like what that victim accused Jay-Z of. Drugged. Remember, it says the 13-year-old was pushed, grabbed, thrown, then held down, right? Held down, and then sexually assaulted. Now, it's either two things going on, and I hope you catch it. It's either Jay saying, you know what, we gonna cap too. Oh, you capping? We gonna cap too. Hey, we had somebody call us up, and they said the same thing that this girl's accusing me of. They were trying to get another girl to accuse Diddy of the same shit again. Again, by the way, I keep telling y'all, the nature of how this lawsuit is, they're kind of defending Diddy, at least in this case. Remember, well, they're both accused of being in the same situation. But, of course, they're not going to put another allegation on themselves. So they said, hey, this person who randomly called us, because here, chat, just think about this. If a woman has a story of Tony Busby's firm, supposedly she hits them up saying, oh, a celebrity did something to me. They said, okay, we'll represent you. Then they're steering her to put a claim or accuse Diddy and say you got pushed, held down, drugged, raped. Why would this person hit up Jay-Z and not Diddy? Why would this woman hit up? They're trying to get you to frame Diddy. But remember, this is what I'm saying. I don't know what's going on here yet. Hey, listen. I'm going to just be the neutral arbiter. Because this is big money chess right here. You get what I'm saying? This is big money chess. Why would that person not call Diddy's lawyer? It's not like I could imagine if this person, if they were trying to say, yo, but when did you meet Jay-Z though? Nah. This is what you got to do. You got to accuse Jay-Z and say he did A, B, C, and D. I get you probably like being frustrated and said, I'm going to call Jay's lawyer, and let them know. But they were trying to get you to accuse Diddy. Why are you calling Jay-Z lawyer? But that's what I'm saying. No one's naming names. I'm actually a little skeptical that some of these people exist. I'm skeptical. Someone floated a theory to me that some of these Jane Does might just be poof. Keep in mind, chat, the goal of a lot of these lawsuits is to get the money, dismiss the case, or you dismiss with prejudice means, oh, we settled. Here's the thing. Diddy eventually is going to do it with all his cases, but Jay's pushing it here. We need to know your name. Let's say if this is not a real person. I know that sounds, this 13-year-old is not real. They still don't have to disclose their name. All they got to say, if the judge forces them, you can dismiss it. You never know who the person is. But on the opposite side, because remember, Jay's in a time crunch. He needs it out now. I didn't even know Jay-Z's law firm had a hotline. I know Tony Busby got a hotline. But you're telling me on the day you file, somebody called you up and said, hey, they were trying to get me to do the same thing. But to Diddy. But I'm just calling y'all, though. And this Marie Henderson, which is someone who works at Alex Spiro's office. Oh, we're not going to tell you that person's name either. So we get no names. We're getting no names here, chat. Interesting. Okay. When the woman made it clear she was unwilling to adapt to the narrative, Mr. Busby firm laid out and wanted to only speak her truth, she was dropped as a client and told that Mr. Busby firm was unwilling to represent her any longer. She had felt as though once she had expressed that she wasn't a coachable victim, she was dismissed. This woman shared this information because she felt the conduct by Mr. Busby firm, specifically to encourage lies and discredit those who are legitimate victims. Or discredits those who are legitimate victims. This woman expresses that she fears retaliation from Mr. Busby firm if she shares her true identity or signs her name to a declaration in this case at this time. Okay. Well, why did she go to Jay-Z's lawyer? If you're that much in fear, why would you go to Jay-Z's lawyer and blow the whistle, knowing whatever you tell them, they're going to go tell the court? Because whatever you tell them is going to help Jay-Z out. And then you know what's going to happen. Tony Busby is going to say, we need that person's name. And if Jay wants this to be believed, they're going to have to give this person. So I don't get what that person's getting out of it. Something's going on here, chat. Something is going on here. So you have this clerk or whoever. I declare under the penalty of perjury that the foregoing statements are true and correct. Interesting. Now, the Illuminati chest didn't stop there, chat. Tony Busby clapped back with accusations of his own. 4 hours ago, he says, investigators from New York have called many of her law firm's current and former clients. What they didn't anticipate was one of the clients decided to record the conversation. Fucking plot twist. What we just read was supposedly a anonymous former client saying Tony Busby wanted me to lie. And when I wouldn't lie, they dropped me. Now Tony Busby claps back immediately saying, investigators from New York, basically hinting that Jay-Z's lawyers have called many of our law firm's current and former clients. What they didn't anticipate was one of our clients decided to record the conversation. So they're going to file this tomorrow, I would imagine. It's shocking and illegal. Here's a portion taken from the transcript. So the investigator says, hey, in a couple of days or maybe by next week, anybody Googling Busby and his company, his practice, are going into litigation, okay? What we're trying to do is we're trying to put this thing together for the company that we work for. We could get you paid. You could get some money, right? Soon, you know? We gave this kid $1,000 to start yesterday just to get him on the right path. At the end of the day, this is going through the courts. Busby's getting sued. It says these guys are on tape offering to pay clients to sue our firm. That's a crime. Oh, shit. This is good drama. Jay-Z says that one of Tony Busby's former client came to him or came to his lawyers saying, nah, yeah, that dude wanted us to lie. That would have helped Jay-Z because the judge might say, wow, this is kind of some proof that maybe some of these tactics you're using are trumped up and meant to pressure and whatever, and you're getting people to lie. By the way, huge violation in court. Huge violation. A lawyer is supposed to do their due diligence, even if say someone comes in and say, yo, I got fucked by Saddam Hussein. Before you file that lawsuit, you're supposed to do a little bit of due diligence. Hey, when did this happen? Where did this happen? How do we know or have some proof that you were in the same town as Saddam Hussein? same building, same vicinity. Is there any conversations between y'all? Text messages, pictures? Did anybody post anything on the gram, on a story? You got to make sure that it kind of vibes and jives. You know what I mean? Because if you file a frivolous lawsuit, you stand and face the risk of being sanctioned and punished by the court. That happened, or it was, there's a motion to sanction Mr. Blackburn, who UMG caught him a few times possibly doing some procedurally incorrect things. So a lawyer lying just to get either a judgment or get a salacious headline, especially if they're coercing their client to lie or to trump up a story, very unethical and definitely could have some ramifications. So Jay-Z's lawyer accuses Tony Busby of that. But then Tony Busby claps back and says, interesting, because what also is unethical is that you and investigators that we believe work for you through the proxy, which is your law firm, are calling around offering money to former clients to sue people. That's a big no-no and a crime. This is going to get really interesting, people. Really interesting, okay? Here's my crazy theory. You can believe it if you want to. One of the reasons why Jay-Z wants to get this dismissed is because he's in the middle of trying to do a lot of big things. I believe he's trying to break into maybe sports team ownership a bit. But a big thing he has going on is Jay-Z Casino. So Jay-Z, a month ago, so Jay-Z's trying to become one of those guys. If you look at even like, say, the UFC is owned by the Fertitta brothers, and they own the Red Rock, they own most of the casinos. They actually just, they bought into the UFC stuff just because they're like, fuck it. These guys that own casinos are really wealthy. Okay? Now, there's a market for casinos in Northeast Jersey. I'll tell you how competitive it gets for casinos. If you're in New Jersey, which I am, the only casino that's allowed to do table games and regulate in person, you can do FanDuel, but it's only online, is in Atlantic City. Now, you have to remember, the thing with casinos is that casinos, even Vegas, anywhere casinos are, it sucks the life out of the economy out of the whole town. So the whole town becomes like, have to like live off these casinos. You go to Atlantic City or even like Vegas. Vegas is starting to expand a lot more. That's why they're trying to bring more sporting events there. But a lot of the revenue comes through casinos. By the way, the revenue that comes in through casinos gets heavily taxed. And there's almost a profit share thing there. And also, it's a lot of money that goes in there. Like, for example, I'll tell you this. If you like DraftKings or you like FanDuel or something like that, they'll never have a casino in Vegas. Never. Never. Also, for example, like FanDuel, you can't do FanDuel in Vegas. Why? Those casinos there, whether Caesars and all these places, they spend tens and hundreds of millions of dollars making sure no other competitor comes into that sphere. It's really competitive. Like, they don't want no new friends, no new niggas competing. Okay? Let's get back to the Jersey model, right? So if you look at gambling, and by the way, gambling is such a big thing everywhere now. And by the way, it's interesting, people are just getting that Drake for gambling. Jay-Z's trying to do even more than that. At least Drake is just, he's endorsing gambling. Jay's trying to own a casino. Levels, right? By the way, while we do that, look at this. DraftKings ad just pops up. You can't escape gambling, bro. You can't. Anyway, I have nothing to do with DraftKings, by the way. So, Jay-Z. So let me finish the story. In the Atlantic City is at the shit bottom of Jersey. You got to drive all the way down to go get to it. If you're in North Jersey by where MetLife Stadium is, where it's kind of like 15 minutes from New York, you have to drive 2.5 hours to get to casino. Okay? So what ends up happening is that people are saying, yo, that's kind of like inconvenient. Why can't we just have a big old casino right by the place where we have all the games? Like MetLife Stadium is right near to the bridge. People from New York would probably come over, blah, blah. They tried to do it. And the casinos in Atlantic City banded together because they knew, it's like this. If I sell weed and I'm the only weed spot and you got to drive 2 miles to get to the weed spot, if there's another nigga along the route that sell the same weed, you might say, he's only 3 blocks away. So essentially, all the casinos that's 2.5 hours away, Atlantic City, banded together, lobbied the government, started doing a lot of, because it becomes a very legislative. Very legislative. And they even went to say, hey, we're going to give you some of their revenue because we know you guys are going to lose out on revenue, because the state is kind of managing all this, to say, hey, we get it. If they put a casino in by where MetLife, the Meadowlands is, people from New York ain't going to drive an extra 2 hours to get down to Atlantic City no more. So you know what? We'll give you 20% of whatever that comes out of there to subsidize what y'all got going on. They're like, fuck that, fuck that, Because currently, Atlantic City serves Pennsylvania. Niggas from Philly come there. Niggas from New York come there. And it's the only place in Jersey. So that's the only hot spot for all those places. They do have gambling in New York, but table games are banned. Okay? So it's kind of like a stripped down gambling, and people want the full experience. Okay? So Jay-Z is coming together with a couple other people to bring a casino to Times Square. Now, let me tell you what that means. You might as well just install a money printer. Times Square, the most populated place, most tourists. If you live in Jersey, that's more attractive. With all due respect to Atlantic City, it's a dump. Garbage. Like, and I don't mean to this people in Atlantic City, but we all know. Come on. Other than going to Atlantic City to gamble, you don't go there for nothing. Imagine going to Times Square, you go watch a Broadway play, you go watch a show, you go to Madison Square Garden, you go over there, you go out to eat, and then you could still gamble and then go to a strip club? Oh my God, this should be lit. That's what Jay was trying to do. So Jay is trying to bring a casino to basically cut off Jersey, but also eat up all the tourist population, and the biggest tourist population in the United States is coming through Times Square. So you know what he did? Look at the headline. This is how you know this is the money printer. He was going to give grants. He's giving away $250 million for free. Just that businesses around there, because you know what businesses around there are saying? A casino is never good for business for other businesses. Because what happens is people come to these places and lose their money. It also attracts a different environment. Like, a lot of other thriving businesses don't like casinos. They don't like it. Okay? So because these things would require votes and people endorsing the idea, Jay-Z offered, we'll give you our $250 million in grants. Let's read through it. Jay-Z's looking to sweeten the pot on his Times Square casino bid. The rap icon and Rock Nation will commit $250 million in grant money for Hell's Kitchen if they land the bid to create a Caesars Palace. Times Square Casino. Page 6 is learned. The hip-hop moguls Rock Nation-led group would give initially $15 million to the local community. You see? Yo, he's just giving everybody money because once you get in, remember, you need to get in. Once you get in, printing money. Printing, okay? This 200 was 65 because 250 give to grants for Hell Kitchen, and then 15 for local. Oh, that's chump change. You make that in like 2 weeks. 2 weeks. It's all good. Plus regular grants based on 0.5% of the casino's performance. Okay. The Caesar Palace Times Square team has already met with the residents of Manhattan Palace, Manhattan Plaza, the famed affordable housing for development for artists, to clue them into potential benefits we hear. Jay-Z said in a statement announcing that the grant initiative says we're New Yorkers. Supporting and providing opportunity for neighborhoods and communities isn't just part of our Rock Nation ethos. It's our collective responsibility. The Empire State of Mind artist added, any proposal that wins a gambling license will undoubtedly profit. So that's the thing. This Hell's Kitchen like situation, they're first in line. They're first in line to get what's supposed going to be this coveted gambling license. Okay? It's like, I'll bring it down to, and again, it's always politics as usual, right? In a lot of these towns, especially a populated town, the reason why you don't see new businesses all the time is that the town will say, we only give out 200 liquor license. So you could build a bar, but you can't sell no fucking liquor. So what you have to do is you got to buy a liquor license from someone or buy an establishment with the liquor license because the town doesn't issue anymore. So this gambling license, once you have that and you could open a business where gambling is allowed in Times Square, oh my God, you're printing cash, right? Okay. So it says, any proposal that wins the gaming license, or gambling license really, will undoubtedly profit. Our vision is to give back to New York and ensure that the Broadway community, Hell's Kitchen, and surrounding business all benefit. You got to imagine some of these businesses would probably be like, I don't know if I want a bunch of D-gens just coming over here and just gambling, bro. And not just for the minute, but for the long term. Rock Nation is looking to move forward, okay? Into the gambling world after New York City was greenlit for a gaming license and has teamed with Caesars and SL Green. Other players vying to land the biz at different locations include Saks Fifth Avenue, Mohegan Suns, Wynn Resorts, and Greenwood Gaming and Entertainment, Resort World Casino, and more. They're all putting their chips on the table to win the coveted license. Now, I'm not too sure how many are going to be given out. The Rock Nation plan would distribute grant funding a new trust controlled by community residency. That's how you get people on your side. Oh, yeah, we're giving away $250,000 because, again, what the community's thing going to be is if you bring a casino right here, we've been doing business. This is our revenue. You're going to fuck it up. You're going to change the whole. Why do we need gambling, right? That's what they're saying. But you offering them money and offering, making promises that you're going to do this to invest into making the area better, right? Cool. The group contends in a $250 million community funding promise would include improvements in Times Square, Hell's Kitchen, and surrounding areas. Casinos could earn from $1 million to $10 million a day. The Post has reported. Nevada, where gambling epicenter lies, reportedly grossed $13.43 billion in 2021. Rock Nation said its bid is getting support from over 150 organizations and businesses, including restaurants, hotels, residents, and unions, and Broadway stakeholders. But all the various New York City plans have faced pushbacks from groups who don't want the gaming businesses in his backyard. Okay? This is some of the people. Theater workers, the union opposed Jay-Z's backed casino. They said it's not good for Broadway. Okay? Hove might not be getting the look. The union that represents the bulk of the Broadway theaters wants to tear up the blueprint for a proposed Times Square casino backed by Jay-Z, the rapper Jay-Z. A casino in New York would add a dimension in New York City vibrant entertainment industry, but placing it amidst our theater district would be a mistake. The International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees told the Post in a statement. Casinos are self-contained. That's a fact. If you go to a casino, no windows. They don't do no windows, at least when you're at the gaming part. No windows, no time. They close off. Restaurants, they comp you with food. They don't want you to leave. They don't want you to leave. So now they're like, yeah, we don't fuck with this type of, like, put it like this. These places like, oh, you wanted to see a play? You have a nice dinner somewhere else, then you walk over and you go see a play. Everybody's getting money. Everybody eats. A casino come, only Jay-Z eats, okay? All right. Casinos are self-contained and designed to keep patrons inside for as long as possible. Meanwhile, our iconic theater district and Broadway are still recovering from the financial hardships brought by COVID, okay? All right. So, yeah, they're not rocking with it. They're saying having a casino in Times Square is not going to increase attendance at our venues, okay? It says it's already problematic. Traffic would only get worse. In a tourist destination, it's already incredibly congested. We don't want more. It's not good for Broadway, okay? So they don't like it, right? So they're joined by that supports Caesars, that believe Okay. No, that's another person. Okay. All right. And then there's another article. Who will win? Remember, this is why Jay-Z needs to, you can imagine now, these union workers, they're probably discussing this at their board meetings. Yo, damn, we were going to give this nigga the support of him winning the bid for the gaming license, but, yo, he fucked a 13-year-old, did he? No, they would be asking that question, allegedly, right? And, yeah, that's probably costing Jay-Z some money, because Jay-Z is invested a lot, Rock Nation has invested a lot in trying to get this effort going on. Keep in mind, Jay-Z is a very beloved rapper, right? Who will win the big in the New York City casino race? Gambling experts set the odds on Jay-Z. So Jay-Z was leading. Jay-Z was supposed to win, right? As New York summer grinds on, the battle for it's three casinos. Proposals. It's $1 million application fees. So people it was $1 million just to apply. And you have to have this large proposal. What are you going to do for the community? What are you going to do for that? How is it going to do this? Everything. So you're probably spending maybe $10 million on just drumming up the proposal. Also, you got to have a certain amount of money and then partner with somebody who already is in the casino business, because there's going to be a lot of regulations. Outside of two racinos, what's a racino? Resorts World, New York City in Queens, and Empire City in Yonkers. Yeah, those are the ones that you can't do table games, which already have profitable electronic games, see, and are said to be front runners. The 6 remaining contenders face local opposition. Oh, so it looks like these two, if it's 3 they're giving out, look like these 2 are going to finally, they've been around already. They just can't have table games. They're going to get the full casino gaming license, which would allow them to be a full casino. Neither are in Times Square. Like, they're not in the hustle and bustle of Manhattan. So that will leave 1 left. And Jay was the front runner for this one. Whoa. Companies are, as I said to y'all, companies are spending millions on lobbyists. A political insider told the Post. And no part of the city wants a new casino. Okay? Here we go. So, related companies and Wynn, their budget is $12 billion. Public bonus, they're going to do a 5.6 acre park and a public school. And the casino would be Wynn, New York City. So they're laying out, I guess, what everybody's going to do. So They said they complained the casino would replace housing units going from 5,700 to 1507. Okay, here's another proposal. MGM Resorts, their budget is $3 billion. Oh, you got to step your game up, baby, because Wynn is coming with 12. So MGM coming with 3. They said their public bonus is to tripling the largely local workforce already there. This is weak. Oh, their casino's Empire State. Oh, never mind. So they already have one there. So Yonkers Raceway. Okay, so they already have a casino. It's just not a full-on. It's aiming for a full-on gaming license. So they're probably gonna get it. So that's why they don't have to come with that much money. Okay, Mohegan Sun, $10 billion. We're talking billions, people. You see why Jay-Z about to burst a blood vessel if this goddamn case keep going on. Yo, my boy's he's trying to be, he's already the richest rapper, but he's trying to be on some up 25 bill type shit. You get what I'm saying? This is the move. All right. They're going to do 6.7 acre of green space. Huh? How you do that? And the Freedom Museum? Okay. I guess. Oh, look. Oh, they'll be creating it here. Okay, so it wouldn't be Times Square. It'll be created here. I think, is this West Side Highway or something? This is a green space, and they would build the buildings around it. Okay. All right, brothers. Then we have the Genton Group. They only came in.
So, Jay-Z has been accused of R-wording a 13-year-old. I'd be lying if I said I'm not surprised that news like this was coming out, bro. From listening to what X said, I agree this is a money grab. But I also do agree that if you really, really, really search deeper into Jay-Z, you will see he was definitely with underage women, not even with him above the age of 18, but with him above the age of 21, like 24, 25. Jay-Z is old, man. It's like, hey, when you're in the game that long and you have that much money, you literally, he could have picked any girl he wants, but hey, it's crazy how men in power, they just have a thing for young women, like young girls. You can't even wait for it to be 18, bro. Like, damn. But Jay-Z, Diddy, it's a crazy world we live in. Just gotta wait and see what comes out next. Who knows? And if this gets paid off quick, we will know what is up. It's deeper than we think. It's a lose-lose situation if it's true. But if it's fake, I feel like people who file fake lawsuits, they need like, yeah, like something back filed on them. But just gotta wait and see how everything goes. Your boy Big Act News. Make you like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.